Paragraph 20 has a catchy title: South Carolina Income Tax on Non-Resident Gain in Compliance and USA Federal Income Tax. This kind of wears you out just reading it, doesn't it? This paragraph applies, seller, if you live outside of South Carolina. You're not a South Carolina resident. Now, there's some other ways that we can not have to do this, but if it's triggered when we know the seller is not a South Carolina resident. Okay? If that's true, and no exceptions that we'll talk about apply, then seller, you're going to need to fill out this seller's disclosure. This seller's disclosure gives your affidavit of how much gain you've earned on the property. Okay? Then the attorneys usually handle this, but the buyer is then responsible, oddly enough, under the law, for collecting 7% tax on the gain and sending it to the South Carolina Department of Revenue. The theory behind this is that out-of-state people will not come into South Carolina, make money on real estate in South Carolina, and not pay the state of South Carolina its share of the taxes. So if you have to deposit them and file a return to get them back, if you're not liable for them, then you file a return to get them back. Or if you are, then when you file your return, it'll just be a credit against whatever you owe. After the affidavit's filled out, then there will be a non-resident real estate withholding form, and this is what we use to transmit that tax to the state. It's 7% on individuals, 5% on corporations. That is 7% of the gain if the affidavit's filled out. If it's not, it's going to be 7% on the proceeds. Okay? That's the purpose of the form. Now, there's obviously some times when a seller won't have a gain. Maybe they're selling their primary residence. Okay? Maybe they are filing a tax return in South Carolina anyway. Maybe they've moved in March and they're going to have to file a tax return for the year of the sale. There are other ways besides withholding it. I very seldom run into a situation where I have to fill out this form and send money into the state, but it does happen.